I hope this stream is working now. Let me check, guys. I have to also let everybody know that I'm streaming. So that's very fortunate. Set know whenever. I'm checking if there's sound. 1 second, guys. I hope this stream is... Okay, it's working on my end here. That's always good. Hello everyone, I'm Santiago, and today I'm going to be testing Shadow of the Tomb Raider on the 1050 Ti and i3 8100. Hi guys, how are you doing? Let me paste this in the community section. Shadow of the Tomb Raider right now on YouTube Gaming. Okay, that should do the trick. Ok, ¿dónde está completa para tantos componentes del canal de YouTube? With working at Core 2 Quad, I really don't know. It's kinda CPU intensive and GPU intensive. I'm impressed by how intensive it is on the GPU actually. And this is one of the few games that works fine on DirectX 12, better than DirectX 11. So well, first of all, we have resolution, the usual stuff, full screen, exclusive full screen, 1050 Ti, as you can see, no VSync because we're doing a benchmark. And then on the anti-aliasing options, we have off, SMAA, TAA, SMAA T2X, SMAA 4X, which is very demanding, and off. We are going to use TAA, this is what the consoles are using, which is, yeah, less demanding. And on the graphics options, we'll start with medium settings. These are the settings according to Digital Foundry that uses the Xbox One X at a higher resolution, of course. But this is pretty much the console settings. No screen space, contact shadows, BTAO as ambient occlusion. And what else? Well, no tessellation and no motion blur. That should do the job. Alright, so let's run the benchmark. In the meantime, I'll talk to you about the game itself. I think I'll just read the chat. Let me make the chat bigger. I cannot read anything at all. ¿Qué haces con los componentes que ya no usas? Los vendo para poder comprar más componentes. Looking forward for i3 8100, DDX 1060, 1440. Yeah, me too. I'll be testing that tomorrow maybe. So as you can see here in this part of the benchmark, we're getting over 30 frames per second. This is medium settings. As you can see, the game is very, very demanding on the GPU. i5 better for streaming? No, it's not better for streaming. But, well, yeah, I mean, compared to the i3, yes. Sorry, it's very loud. I'm very loud. How's it going? It's going well. What about you? Are you going to do older hardware like Core 2 Quad, Phantom 2 and older CPUs and older GPUs? No, not right now. I barely have enough time to test what I'm testing right now. So yeah. i5 8400 please. Yes, in the benchmark. As you can see above me, it says more hardware tests later today. So just be patient. Is this just personal PC? No, my personal PC is a Ryzen 5 1600. No, I swapped to an i7. An i7 8700 non-K, a B360 motherboard, and a 1080 Ti. That's my personal PC, my personal computer. So as you can see now, in places with a ton of foliage, there are drops into the mid-30s. So probably the benchmark that I will make will be here, in the place with a ton of foliage. According to this benchmark tool, we have a lot of a lower frame rate here in the foliage heavy area, which makes a lot of sense. And optimization is as like the previous one. Well, keep in mind that they are very good looking games. They have very high-end graphics technology, so it makes sense. And well, this area is not demanding at all, as you can see, long draw distances. It doesn't seem to be too bad. We'll see once we get into a more detailed place. Will you test the new RTX GPUs? No, I won't buy any of the RTX GPUs unless we get the new GTX 2050 or 2060. Do you have Twitter account where you announce these live streams? No, but I announce them on the community section on YouTube, in my channel. But when I start a stream, it's published on Twitter, so you can see when I'm streaming right away. So yeah, this game was supposed to be released on 14th of September. Yes, it is releasing on the 14th of September, but I purchased a deluxe edition that allows me to be 48 hours earlier in the game. So yeah, I got early access because I got the deluxe edition. ¿Andará 30 estables con la 750 común? Sí, por supuesto. No deberías tener problema. Bajaré las texturas y listo. I was saying in Spanish that the 1052 GB should be fine, 10% less FPS, more or less, and you have to lower texture quality, but that should be about it. Okay, so, oh, this is very cool, graph. So we get an average of 40 frames per second, video memory 4 GB, blah, 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 FPS, oh, okay, the average CPU, oh, it gives the information for each component, that's pretty cool. Alright, so let's jump into the game itself, and we'll be testing more settings in there. So let's get into the game, new game. I don't care, let's put it on normal, just because. And let's get started, shall we? I almost missed a notification. Yeah, it's very usual for YouTube to suck at giving notifications. But hey. Bro, show Battlefield 5 Ryzen 3 1200 1050 Ti. When it releases, I might do it, but expect similar performance to the i3 8100 if you do some overclock. You're my regular viewer, thank you, thanks for supporting the channel. Would you test 750 Ti? Yes, of course. After the 1050 Ti test video I'll make later today, I'll be doing 750 Ti, of course. Thanks, Tech Remastered. I appreciate it. I love you guys too. GTX 1060, yes, of course. Tomorrow I'll be doing 1060 3 GB. But we'll probably have to use medium textures for that one. We're using high textures here, and it's over 3 GB. Okay, I'm getting music, I'm getting beeping, whatever that is. And please let me skip the cinematic. Okay. Loving the subtitles. Okay, so this seems to be... This is real time. Yeah, it seems to be real time. The GPU was maxed out. Or, I'm not sure if it's real time or not, to be honest. Are you going to live stream the 1060? Probably not. Not now. We'll see. I might switch GPUs. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Breathing, effort. I think the subtitles are a little too much. Okay. What is your dream PC? Say all the components. I'll tell them later. Any news about the 2050? It seems that we won't be getting a 2050 anytime soon. Probably next year, according to the rumors. Please, let me skip. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Thanks, Twisty Terror. That's the point. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, probably 15 FPS on the 750 Ti. We'll see. Can you test it without DirectX 12? No, I won't. It runs much worse on DirectX 11, and it uses significantly more CPU. So yeah. Probably not. DirectX 11 here runs worse, so no point. Okay, I can finally skip. Oh, great. I had to mash E. ¿Comprarás las RTF? No sé qué son las RTF. I have a 1063 GB, but I have 7400. Will this bottleneck? It should be fine for this game if you use DirectX 12. It should be significantly better than this for sure. I'm worried about the G4560. Don't be. DirectX 12 seems to be very friendly with the GPUs in this case. With the CPU, sorry. Is 16 GB of RAM mandatory? No, as you can see in the RAM usage in the overlay, there doesn't seem to be a need for more than 8 gigabytes. It's just in case we need it. As you can see, the RAM usage right now is around 6.3 gigabytes, 6.2, 6.1. So on the RAM usage, at the moment we are fine. In the benchmark we got to 7.5 gigabytes, if I remember correctly. So it seemed to be fine. Alright, good. Will an i7 7700 make a difference with the same 1050 Ti? It shouldn't, unless you're targeting 60, it might be better. We'll see once we're into a more CPU heavy scene. But right now, the i3 was enough. Okay, for 30 frames per second at least. But I need to get into a foliage heavy area like the benchmark, so I can do proper testing for the GPU. But the game, despite being normal settings, it looks pretty good, I have to say. It looks pretty nice. The shadows are a little blocky, but the game itself is looking pretty good. So yeah, good stuff. Is playable? Yes. At least right now it seems to be playable. Yeah. They have a GPU with overclocking. Factory overclocking, but it was, I mean, factory overclock, but it's very small. It's a very small overclock, so you can do a much higher overclock on your own. That's for sure. So yeah, let's keep going. Okay, I disabled the music in case of copyright stuff, so sorry about that, guys. But yeah. Your ass is so overclocked right now. Yeah, I imagine. i5 3570 GTX 1050 Ti, when it runs smoothly, at least for what I can see right now, it should be fine. The CPU usage is very low, and the GPU seems to be enough to maintain 30 frames per second, but I need to get to a place with more characters on screen, with more foliage. I mean, on foliage heavy areas in the benchmark tool, at least, it was at 30 frames per second, so that's something to keep in mind. And make sure that the RAM is on dual channel. That is usually very helpful. Does overclocking reduce the lifespan? Yeah, but at the time that the GPU will probably die, it will be way after you stop using it, so I never ran into problems overclocking my GPUs, even 5 years later. It still works. I see a lot of screen tearing though. Yes, of course, the VSync is disabled, so we'll be getting a lot of screen tearing. But that's the point of the benchmark, to see the maximum frame rate without anything just capping our performance. If you want to use VSync, just be free to do so, but I don't like the latency on the controls when using VSync. I can I can live with screen tearing without a problem, to be honest. Please get to a foliage density area. Yes, I'm trying to do that, but the game has to progress. I cannot teleport there. Can I run the game at 30 plus frames per second at 7700K RTX 2080 Ti? Well, if you use RTX, you're probably not going to do so. I mean the RTX stuff. But there's little interactivity right now with the game. It's just cinematics mixed with some gameplay sequences. So I'm just trying to get to the biggest FPS hit. But yeah, the start is quite boring. Yeah, Kumar, that's true. Like a fictional character. Can I play on 8 GB of RAM? Yes, of course. Make sure it's on dual channel. RAM usage seems to be under 8 GB. Yeah, that's correct. Right now, at least, is 6 GB. Around that number, 6.1. But on the benchmark tool, I saw drops. I saw the RAM usage going up to around 7.5 GB, something like that. And the VRAM usage was fine, so yeah. Okay, Mexico. Good. We're progressing. So this shouldn't be a huge hit to the GPU compared to the jungle, because there's not as much foliage. And this is a famous scene when NVIDIA showed the RTX stuff. We don't have RTX in this version of the game. It's going to be released after the RTX card's release. So yeah, you won't be getting RTX in this video. Crack the game uploaded to torrent. Ha, yeah, sure. Nice try. It's not like I can I don't know how to crack a game though, so kinda pointless if you ask me. Just support the developers, don't be an asshole.
I'm not really used to crowds.
You'd rather storm guards or the deathless?
No, this is fine.
I don't even know where to go. Oh, never mind.
Jonah, he's at the gate.
i5 7400 should be fine for 60 FPS in new games. It depends on the game. Some games have trouble hitting 60s on that i5. I say that because I tried. Depends on the game, of course. But many games run at 60, as long as the GPU can handle it.
I'll take care of these guys.
Go with the GTX 750 Ti, the immortal. Yeah, that's right. The immortal GPU. Always in our hearts. Santiago, en la configuración ultra activa Ray Tracing. No, Ray Tracing no hay todavía en el juego. GTX 752 GB, please. Maybe on Thursday, tomorrow. Tomorrow at the latest time, I'll be testing that. No worries. Pensé que te iba a utilizar mucho más el CPU. Sí, el tema estamos usando DirectX 12, eso usa menos CPU. Due to DirectX 12, it seems that we're using less CPU than I expected. On DirectX 11 uses significantly more CPU, so be aware of that.
Good. Those guards weren't at the gate earlier.
Hello, Shogi. How are you doing? Good to see you.
Excuse me.
Okay. I'm trying to speedrun this so we get to the jungle. That's usually the biggest FPS hit. So please guys, be patient. I'm trying to get through the game. That's why I put normal difficulty, so I can go through it as fast as possible.
No one questions your leadership of the organization.
And I put subtitles so you can read them, but there's something obstructing the subtitles, so it's kinda pointless.
Jonah,
CPU usage is slow during a cutscene.
leader of the cell. I think he
Yes,
is the
as
one
Shock
with the
Camply.
We need to be careful.
I already told you that I'm going there, so be patient, or just don't watch the stream. 1052 GB, please. Yes, tomorrow. Patience. I cannot do 5 things at once. That's kinda difficult. Can you test Ryzen 5 2600 1050 Ti? I don't have that CPU, so I cannot do it. But if it runs on this i3, it will run without a doubt on a Ryzen 5 2600.
Someone set off a trap
So yeah,
first
it
second.
should be using all the cores correctly on that one.
What's wrong?
All the threads, sorry. Why do you sound like an Alan Walker? Who is Alan Walker?
I'll make sure we get visual confirmation.
How are you? I'm fine, thanks. What about you? What about RX 470? Will it run better than the 1050 Ti? Yeah, it usually does. It's a faster GPU, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. i3 6100. I'll be testing the G4560 later today. Sorry. So we can see how the CPU usage stacks up. This is just to get to the biggest FPS hit, and once I do that, I'll be able to do my usual videos.
This is Commander Rourke. Dominguez wants confirmation Croft is
Yeah, he sure didn't see me.
You have the photo. Female, Caucasian, early 20s.
Early
You
20s.
got that?
A lo largo de stream probarás con la i60. No creo, pero hoy o mañana voy a sacar video de la i60. After this stream, I'll be doing my usual videos. I'll be going as fast as possible, trying to release the 1060 video, the 1050 Ti video, the 750 Ti video, so you have at least 3 GPUs tested today.
Sorry.
And
Right.
what else? As I was saying. And yeah, that's the plan. This stream is just to see where the biggest FPS hit relies. Then I can exploit that place so we can get the benchmark videos done. This is just me exploring the performance of the game, the first look. What's your personal favorite game? I have many favorite games. I would say Dark Souls 1, Splinter Cell, Blacklist, all those games. I like minigames, it's kinda difficult to decide. Okay, I can finally move. And thanks to normal difficulty, I can just press Q and see where to go, so I can skip to foliage heavy areas, which is nice. Okay, here we have more foliage, but nowhere close what the benchmark tool showed. So yeah. Oh no, no way, stealth takedown. So difficult. Come on, let me control the game.
Your employment has been terminated. Please, no.
Okay. We're good. We are good. Will you crank up the settings? Yes, on a lower resolution, maybe. I'll try to find the perfect 30 FPS settings. Then I'll switch to lower settings, lower resolutions, 6 FPS targets. I'm trying to get to the biggest FPS hit first. What is foliage? All this vegetation around me, that's the foliage. That's what I'm talking about. A lot of grass, a lot of trees, a lot of vegetation, to say it in a more understandable way.
I have to find what they're looking for.
Okay, this feels very the same to Rise of the Tomb Raider and the other Tomb Raider games, sorry, plural word. But yeah, let's just get to the jungle. ¿Por qué yo no sé videos con AMD Ryzen? Porque me pidieron más procesadores Intel, lamentablemente. Y no puedo probar dos cosas que son re parecidas. No tiene ningún sentido. Low 720p, please. Yes, once I reach the foliage heavy area. Be patient.
Okay.
Oh, rappelling. This is new. Pretty cool. But I gotta just speedrun this. So far it's doing just fine. The game looks very good. And we get decent performance compared to what I was expecting. I was expecting much worse performance. Of course, rappelling again. But yeah, the game does look amazing even on normal settings. ¿Con 8 GB de RAM podré jugarlo? Sí, por supuesto. Can you turn on ray tracing? That option is not available. There's no ray tracing options until the RTX cards release. Microsoft releases DirectX ray tracing, so this game doesn't have that option just yet. We only have DirectX 12 as the most advanced option, to say it in some way. Okay. Will a mobile GPU 960M run it? If you lower the settings, it should be fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. If it runs on the 750 Ti, it should run on your 960M, I guess. That's what logic tells me. So yeah. Okay, let's keep going. Is it supposed to run better than Rise of the Tomb Raider? I don't know, but it's much more advanced than Rise of the Tomb Raider, at least in my opinion. Okay, hold to swing back and forth, then press to jump. Oh, never mind. My brain just decided to stop working. Okay, perfect.
This is it. Jonah, I'm entering a cave. We may lose
Okay,
contact.
this cave shouldn't be a huge hit to the frame rate, remember? Foliage heavy areas should be way more demanding than this. Though is it stuttering from time to time? Yeah, sometimes when it's switching camera angles, it seems to be stuttering a little bit, but the frame times are quite stable, as you can see on the graph. There is some stutters every now and then, and not something that makes it unplayable, at least not right now. No need for that. Let's keep going. Okay, traps, classic. Will this game use more than 8 GB of RAM, or is it better to stick with 8 GB? I mean, the game is using less than 8 GB so far. I didn't see anywhere close 8 GB. only in the benchmark tool, but it wasn't something, I mean, it wasn't going over 8 gigabytes, so no worries. Just make sure that if you have 8 gigabytes of RAM, that it's on dual channel. Dual channel is very important. Other than that, it should be fine. So yeah, no worries. Is this game CPU bound? If you use DirectX 11, it uses significantly more CPU. So be aware of that. Some air, please. Yes. Alright, let's keep going. Is 12 gigabytes of RAM enough? 8 gigabytes is enough. Really? How convenient. 8 gigabytes seems to be enough. Just make sure that it's on dual channel. That's very important. Dual channel is a must. The game looks really good even on medium settings. Yes, that was what I was saying. Medium settings looks amazing. Considering considering the settings, it looks amazing. This is what the Xbox One X uses at 1800p or 4K. So yeah, it's still pretty good. I'm sure that ultra settings means softer shadows, higher resolution shadows, and more granular. Sorry, my English breaks every 2 seconds. Just more small details, like the screen space ambient occlusion. Instead of that cheaper ambient occlusion, you get HPAO Plus, which is significantly more realistic. But that should be about it, and the draw distances. But yeah, sometimes it stutters and I press space instead of C. That wasn't very good. But as you can see there, it was stuttering. Not sure what's up with that. Sometimes it happens. But yeah, fail. Big fail. This game cool or suck? I have dual channel if game. Okay, check the Angry Center Gaming ACG made a great review of this game. And it's a great explanation on what to expect. He already played the entire game, I'm just 30 minutes in. But yeah, sometimes as you can see the frame times are getting kinda broken. And the CPU usage was very high. So it seems to be the game loading assets at the very start of the new area. Very annoying, I have to say. So be aware of that if you are planning on playing this game. But it was just for 3-4 seconds, then it stabilizes right away. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. We'll be testing more, of course. Ultra settings, please. We're getting 30 frames per second on medium and you want me to test ultra? Well, sure, why not? Let me get to the foliage heavy area first. That's what I'm trying to do here. Do you think this will run well on Q8200 1050 Ti combo? It should be fine. I mean, I'm not entirely sure. For 30 frames per second, if the CPU can actually run the game, I'm not sure due to that. Sometimes some instructions are not compatible. If the CPU can launch the game, it should be possible to get 30s, I think. But I'm not saying it can, I'm saying it should. Let me see if I can jump, make this jump here. Yes, okay, good. Really? Convenience. but why? Why did that fly around? I don't get it. Something is weird. Do you think it will run on GTX 1050, 57500, 8 gigs of RAM? If the RAM is on dual channel, it should be totally fine. Just make sure to lower the texture quality. Yeah man, sometimes those stutters are very annoying. Sometimes. Kinda random, actually. Not sure what's up with that. A trap. It's a trap. And the sound is pretty good as well. Alright.
That bell platform is stuck.
Yeah, the stutters are very annoying. Right now I'm starting to notice it way more. So good catch, whoever said that in the comments. Okay, that's not the use for that. Hopefully this takes us to the foliage heavy area. Hopefully. Not sure what I'm doing with this. Probably nothing at all.
Need to find a way to destroy that debris.
Oh, I'm an idiot. Sorry guys. How do I get out of this? Don't tell me that I'm stuck here.
Need to find a way to destroy that debris.
Nice. Okay. Let me try.
Need to find a way to
Shut up,
destroy
Lara.
that debris.
Come on. Oh man. Oh man, I suck. Sorry guys. 30 FPS log with Reva Tanner? Yeah, of course. I can do that later. But let me first get to a place that is actually demanded on the GPU.
That bell
Alright.
platform is stuck.
Let's give it a try once again. Okay. It was much easier than it looked. Will it make a difference on single channel? Yeah, single channel should run worse. So be aware of that. That usually happens on games that use a lot of CPU. But sometimes you can get surprised. In this game it should, because on Rise of the Tomb Raider it also happened. So yeah. Alright.
Need to find a way
Oh.
to destroy that debris.
What do I do with this? Something here. I always feel very stupid doing puzzles. Puzzle Master Santiago, yeah, of course. Those are my speciality.
Need to find a
Oh,
way
come on.
to destroy
I missed the
that debris.
buttons. I'm not entirely sure how... Oh, never mind. It was easier than it seemed. Again. I might be able to... Maybe plug this. Yes, okay, you can do that. I figured it out. I'm a genius. I got dual channel. If you have dual channel, you shouldn't worry about anything at all. Alright. Count the settings? Yes. How many times do I have to say? I'll crank up the settings once I get to the foliage heavy area. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Alright, perfect. I hope I didn't break everything, like usual. Alright. I'm such a genius. This game for genius. Yes, of course. Okay, where do I need to go? Up there. Got it. Nothing here. No point in doing that. It would be nice if I could move this into that. But that's not realistic. What is that? Oh, collectibles, cool. Why not? Nothing over there. Oh, okay. I'm a genius. It was much easier than anticipated, of course. I'm saying that a lot. Oh, come on. Okay. Yeah, please try high settings. Yes, I'll change it in the jungle area. Okay. Hit detection, 11 out of 10. What would be the performance on i3-6100? I'll find out once I test the G4560 later today. So yeah, not right now. Alright, so now we should get into a flood, then into the jungle. So let's keep ahead.
Shit. Jonah, get to higher ground.
Oh no, you took it, didn't you?
Hurry.
Yes, we did it.
They're on their way. Dr. NVidia to move men. Apparently we got
I stopped playing the previous game because of these puzzles are too hard. Well, you have a puzzle difficulty now. You can put the puzzles on easy and put the rest of the game on hard or medium. It's pretty accessible. So yeah, this one should be right up your alley then. But it's much more puzzle heavy compared to the previous one. So be aware of that. 100p high settings, yes, once I get into the jungle area. I can move through the wall. That's pretty cool. They found something better to hide in. No access here. Finally some combat. That's my favorite part. I know. Kinda basic. This game had good optimization. It's very GPU heavy so far. I cannot talk about optimization because, well, I didn't play it enough to know. But this wall stuff is pretty cool.
Don't worry, I'll fix it. This is taking way too long.
The bottles.
For us when he gets here. It's not gonna
Hold
be
C to
pretty.
drop a held item. Roger.
Checking it out. There's something happening.
Yeah, right behind you, dude. Oh man, the stutter. Not sure what's up with that. It was when I moved the camera over there. It seems to be just loading assets, like the previous part. But as you can see, it's kinda random. And it wasn't just destroying the CPU when doing that, so it seems to be CPU related so far.
Have to be quick.
Oh man,
All right.
the stutter.
Let's dispose of
Come on, you can do this. You can do this, I3.
On to the police van. Let us know when the gunshots get reported. Rourke and the
Oh, man.
reinforcements are on the way. I want everything ready when they get here.
Okay, what? That was very easy. But that's fine. I'm just trying to advance.
Are those extra
Oh, hello.
for the siege? Yes.
Great, I'm a genius. That wasn't a good idea. When I say it's very easy, it's, well, it doesn't get easy.
Killing our people. Fuck.
For some reason now I have a rifle. Of course I'm not complaining. Come on. Okay, F1 to heal. The worst button to heal. That's the worst button that you can set for healing. F1. Who uses F1? Alright. I'll probably crank up the difficulty once I play on my own. Don't play on normal if you want a challenging fight. This was normal difficulty. Oh yeah, right now it's performing way worse than the previous section due to the enemies plus more foliage plus rain. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, same as the first one, where I open doors. I wish I had that axe. Every time I forget my keys. RIP 1050 and TI 970. Why? The game is running at over 30 frames per second. It looks good on 1080p. I mean, that's not dead in my book. Okay, so this part. Interesting. Not sure what's going on. That happens when you skip cinematics. That's alright. Hopefully I don't die out of nowhere. I remember that from the first game. Kinda hilarious. Oh man. Okay. Got it. Almost got it. Alright. I'm not sure if I'm actually in control of this. It seems like it, but not sure. Alright. Oops, wrong stream. Why, what happened? What was the stream that you were looking for? Man, the game looks amazing. On the stream, it might, due to the compression and all that, you might not be seeing what I'm seeing, but the game looks amazing, especially underwater. It's looking very good. What am I doing? Run button. How are you multitasking? I'm using two computers, one for the stream, the other one for the game. And I got used to stream, so when I'm playing a game I can read chat at the same time if the game is not something competitive. Like, I don't know, if I'm playing PUBG, it's very difficult to do speaking plus reading chat plus playing the game. So yeah, since this is a single player game, it's much easier to do multitasking. If you were asking that, of course. Can you try it on 1366 by 768? Yes, I'll do 720p after I get to the demanding area. I'll be testing everything I can. Right now I'm just trying to get to the most demanding area possible. And then we'll see what happens. So just be patient. I'll be there in no time. But yeah, this so far is the lowest frame rate I saw in the game. 30 frames per second. Now it's fine. It went over 40 once again. I'm trying to stay away from cinematics for testing. So yeah, after this place it should be right into the jungle. Whoa, the frame rate. It was the CPU though. As I could see, the CPU usage was high and the GPU usage dropped in that split second. So yeah, that was something not related to GPU. But that's fine, it was just a second. Nothing to worry about. Oh, I missed. Surprise! How say 25 FPS? Yeah, but it was just a second, so... What the... How? Okay, got it. Very, very perfect. Let's try not to die this time around. Now I'm trying to get my attention into the game. You jump. Oh, and this is where I have to go. Okay. Okay, I did it. Finally. Let's get going. Come on, Lara. Don't be like this. You trash too? Yes, of course I'm trash. That's obvious, man. Everyone's trash. Oh, he's speaking Spanish. Yeah, Mexico, of course. Okay. That wasn't necessary, but that's fine. They tried to make an emotion go by. But yeah, God of War? Yeah, that of War. I can skip, good. Finally. Let's keep skipping. Okay, finally I'm in the jungle. I got to the place I wanted to be for the testing. So fantastic. 144 Hz, ruined 60 frames per second for me on FPS games at least. Well, I tried 144 Hz and well, it's much better than 60 frames per second, of course. I didn't feel it like, I didn't destroy my perception of 60 frames per second at all, so yeah. It depends, I guess. I can even play at 30 frames per second, as you can see, so it all depends on you, your brain, and your tolerance for different frame rates. Mom of War? Yeah, that's true, of course. But it's not her child, so...
I just can't get those people back there out of my head.
So yeah, I can't believe the low usage of the CPU. Well, remember that this is RTX 12 and sometimes the CPU usage spikes randomly to 80%. And that causes the game to stutter, so it's not 100% perfect, but still. I was expecting significantly worse CPU usage. And I'm trying to skip, guys, but the game is loading, so I'm unable to do so, at least right now.
How do we know we have the right one?
Which resolution? You can see it at the right of my camera, 1080p. Alright, come on, let me skip. Sorry about the spoilers, guys. That wasn't the idea of the stream. Do you benchmark high-end graphics cards? No, I benchmarked the highest end graphics card I benchmark is the GTX 1060 3GB. Mostly due to time constraints, and I'm trying to do affordable stuff. I mean, it depends, of course, but 1070, 1080, 1080 Ti, that's not what I'm trying to show in the channel. Hi, what about the GTX 750 Ti? Is it playable? I found out once I test it out. We'll see. RTX 12 is apparently very good in this game. Yes. I mean, a lot of people are telling me that. And I could see it. Very low CPU usage, higher frame rates. So, yeah. They did a great job with RTX 12 this time around.
Really?
1050 Ti is slowly dying, probably not an option anymore in 2019. Well, it depends. If you're... I mean, all GPUs start aging, and the card is like, what, 2 years old already? I mean, of course, someday it's going to die, but even a 750 Ti can still run games, so... If death to you means no 60 frames per second on 1080p, well... Get a 1070, you'll be fine there. You need to manage your expectations. Will you get the GTX 1050 3GB? Probably not. I'll probably wait for the 2050 and 2060 for 2019. I don't think the 3GB card needs to exist, the 1050 3GB. I think it's unnecessary. Always a plane crash.
What are you doing?
Of course not dying, of course, yeah, it's just being paranoid. Not sure why people are getting paranoid about all that. Okay, finally, into the jungle. Do you plan on testing 1066 GB? Unfortunately, I only have the 3GB version, but the 6GB version will be better textures plus 8 to 10% more FPS compared to the 3GB version. So that should give you an idea once I make the video. Okay, so we're finally in the foliage heavy area, the area I wanted to be at. Let's see if I can make it drop to 30 frames per second or below. The water, okay. Also, I can finally move around a bit on my own instead of a linear path. I think I'll be able to. But yeah, cool. Pretty cool. I'm very shocked that we're not getting... getting almost no aliasing on the foliage. The foliage looks perfect, which is weird because we're using TAA. On the foliage there's no shimmering at all, even on foliage far into the distance.
Can anyone hear me?
So that's very impressive. At least in my opinion, of course.
Anyone?
So yeah, they did a great job with TAA this time around. Compared to other games, of course.
I have to find them.
Yeah, it's impressive. Yeah, the game actually looks amazing, and this is just medium settings. This is not even high settings, this is medium. Medium settings. Even the shadows on medium look pretty good. The resolution is low, but the filtering is fine. They don't look blurry. What am I saying? They don't look bad, as you can see there. Yeah, they are lower resolution. They have some shimmering, but you're just running around. Here you don't see it that much. Okay, now I'm seeing the frame rate drops as more foliage approaches.
I'll keep this for later.
But still. Where to? Over there. I'm thinking I'm going to the wrong place. 1 second, guys. Let me get to the thing over there. What settings are you running this game, Santiago? I'm using medium settings. The settings, you can see them at the right on my webcam. There I put all the details, all the important details. So yeah, okay. So this is what I was waiting for, finally. This should be the best reference for the GPU usage.
Someone's over there. I have to get to them.
But let me get to a place where I actually have weapons and all that, so I can freely move through the environment. That'll make more sense in a benchmark. Sorry. Yeah, the game looks amazing. I now kinda understand why the GPU usage is so high and the frame rate is this. I mean, the game looks very good, plus this is just medium settings and I'm not disgusted, so that's good news. If you can see a game on medium or low settings and not be disgusted by the graphics, it should be fine. It means that they did something right. Oh man. Come on, finish loading the area. Finish loading it. As you can see, what happened there was the CPU was maxed out for a second. It seems that it was loading the new area. And now it's fine. But I mean, look at this, the mud. It has water into it. That's impressive. It reminds me of the snow in Rise of the Tomb Raider. The snow parts. That's a nice detail. Yeah, most games look ugly on medium. Yeah, I agree. That's what I was. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Of course, I agree. Okay, now this makes way more sense, as you can see, compared to the cave area.
My gear is in that cargo.
Let me see. Can I go underwater? Yes, I can. A lot of detail underwater as well. Let's grab this. In case I need to heal. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I think this is a good place for testing. At least it should be. Let me run around a little bit more, so I can test higher settings and all that. Oh yeah, this seems to be a good place to test it out. Plus there are some stutters due to the CPU. Yeah, so let's stand here Let's use the baseline as the low 30s. Let me check it out once more. Let me find a place to look at that. I need 35, anyone? Alright, almost there guys. Sorry, I'm just trying to see. Okay. This should be a good place to test it out. Let's crank up the settings, just because. Let's destroy the frame rate. Let's use tessellation. What else? Let me see, off versus on. Maybe once I get out of the menu, it goes back up. Then screen space, contact shadows. Oh, these are additional shadows, got it. Let's keep this on normal. HBAO plus. Okay, it's updating in real time, as I can see right now. When I touch the HBAO plus, it changes. Depth of field, let's use high. Nah, high is too much. Oh, look at this. If I put the level of detail on high, these on the distance have a lot more detail, but a lot more detail. It's kind of impressive. Let's put this on high. Shadow quality, let's put it on, yeah, high should be good enough. Screen space, contact shadows, yeah, let's keep that on normal just in case. We have pure hair low and normal, and it's a couple frames less. So yeah, there wasn't a huge difference between high and medium, it seems. They have very few options for some settings. I mean, look at depth of field, we have off, normal and high, that's it. Then for level of detail, we have ultra, lowest, low, normal, high. Let's keep it on high. Then screen space reflections, we only have on rough. Screen space contact shadows, we only have high, off, normal. That's about it. So 3 options for this, 2 options for pure hair. We only have low and normal, which low seems to be just enough. It doesn't seem to affect that much. So yeah, let's keep it like this. A mix between medium and high. This is pretty much high settings. Yeah, I mean, there wasn't a huge difference. Yeah, let's put this on high and see what happens. Okay, so the game is now at 30 frames per second, as you can see. Let me move around a bit. Let me change the status to high. But yeah, there wasn't a huge difference between high and normal. Now it's dropping to the 29 FPS, 28. Must be the reflections. But I mean, it's like 5 FPS less. And the game looks better, but it's not a huge difference compared to what I was expecting. I think normal looks very similar to this. I'll maybe just tweak the draw distance in real life, the draw distance plus some of the contact hardening shadows. But overall it seems to be almost the same. I'll just lower a couple things to get the 30 frames per second stable. Maybe the ambient occlusion and the depth of field. Yeah, okay. Yeah, by just lowering the ambient occlusion from HBAO plus to the other option, I don't remember the name, BTAO, I think it is. It's already over 30 with high settings, so at least in this area. So yeah, I see tearing. Yeah, of course, I'm not using VSync. Of course you'll see screen tearing.
Need something to cut that down.
But yeah, it seems to be fine here so far.
I'll need a tool to open that.
Let me see what happens if I use high settings on 720, just to be very aggressive. Let's switch to 720. So 720p. We apply the settings. Let me change. I need to change the capture card for 720p. Sorry guys. 1 second. Okay. So this is 720p high settings. Let me change the status here to 720p high settings right now. As you can see, 720p. I'm using pretty much high settings with BTAO instead of HBAO plus to get a couple extra frames. And okay, we're getting 50 frames per second. Whoa, with some stutters. Thank you, CPU. So yeah, this should be very tweakable. Whoa, the frame rate. But yeah, the CPU doesn't like frame rates of this amount, it seems. But it does feel way smoother, to be expected. Let me see if I can get 60s by tweaking the options. But yeah, the stutters are very annoying, unfortunately. Probably with an i5 this wouldn't happen. Let me lower the shadows. No tessellation, no screen space reflections, and no screen space contact shadows. And what else? Little detail on normal to get less stuff for the CPU to do. And with this tweaking I get 50 to 60 now, 55. Let me change this to normal settings, 720p. But yeah, so don't expect 60 frames per second on 1080, at least not right now. With a quad-core CPU, you probably want to stay at 45 FPS. I get some stutters when I'm reaching 60 frames per second, the game stutters every now and then. And the CPU usage is way higher, to be expected.
Maybe a piece of scrap.
So yeah, can't you see the GPU is maxed out? There's no CPU bottleneck. You're not listening. What I'm saying is that when there's a big stutter, sometimes the CPU usage is spiking to 90% and the GPU usage drops very quickly. So I'm not saying, oh, it's unplayable. No, I'm saying that sometimes the CPU spikes, the CPU usage, and that makes the GPU, that makes a stutter because the GPU usage drops very quickly. But yeah, I mean, I'll play it like this. If I wanted 60 frames per second, the game looks very good. You get 45 to 60 FPS, at least in foliage heavy scenes, with some annoying stutters every now and then, which I wish I can fix. But yeah, those stutters are kinda distracting. Other than that, it seems to be fine. I don't need to lower more settings, I think. This is a good trade-off. So let's try 900p. Yeah, DirectX 11 is even worse. Yeah, DirectX 11 runs worse than this. Let me switch to 900p for you 900p lovers out there. Let's put 900p. Sorry about that. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to change again this thing with a capture card so you can read 900p. And let me tweak this because it's a way bigger window now. Yeah, that's those are not the perks of streaming. You have to tweak stuff on real time, so people have to wait. All right, and I fix this, so you see the frame rate just fine. All right, so 900p now. Let me change the status to 900p normal, so you have an idea on what's going on. Okay, so 900p normal settings, as you can see over here. Sorry about that. So yeah, normal settings, 900p. Let's get back into the game. And well, okay, the frame rate is into the 40s instead of the mid 30s like on 1080p. But again, some stutters every now and then. Seems to be CPU related. Again, because the CPU spikes randomly to 90%. But yeah, I think this is a good middle ground. The game feels much smoother than on 1080p. Still looks good. And the mouse response is much better. If you have a FreeSync or G-Sync monitor, this will be perfect. But again, the CPU sometimes will let us down on this case. So yeah, be aware of that. DirectX 11, please. I have to restart the game to do DirectX 11. And like I said a million times, DirectX 11 is running worse. So I need to use a small CPU. So there's no point on using DirectX 11 unless you're using Windows 7. Then it makes more sense. But Stop asking for DirectX 11. I'll compare that in my final video. In the final video I'll be testing DirectX 11 versus 12, so you can have an idea on how that stacks up. But right now I'm just showing you how the game runs overall. I'll switch to Ultra settings, 900p. Shadow quality, let's put it as an Ultra. HPIO plus, depth of field on high, level of detail on Ultra. Tessellation enabled, of course. Motion blur, let's turn that off. I don't like motion blur in games like this. Screen space reflections. Screen space contact shadows on high. This test on the highest on normal. And yeah, this is pretty much Ultra settings without the textures on Ultra, because that uses more than 4 gigs of VRAM, sorry. And yeah, let's try it this way. Let's put 900p Ultra, just to have an idea on what's going on. Ultra. And okay. So as you can see with Ultra settings, 900p, we're over 30 right now. At least that's what it seems. So if you want higher settings, instead of 1080p, 900p seems to be a good trade-off. At least as of right now. And the game still looks very good. The TAA solution used is pretty nice. And for some reason those stutters, they are kind of random, but they are noticeable. It's very distracting. So yeah, be aware of that. Alright, let's keep going with these settings and we'll see if I find somewhere to drop below 30. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, if you want to do Ultra 1080p, you'll be dropping below 30 sometimes, probably into the 27, 28 FPS mark. If you want to get a better experience in that case, just lower the ambient occlusion option from HPIO Plus to BTAO, and that should be good enough, I think. It should be. And plus you can overclock your 1050 Ti to get better performance. And that will be the 30 FPS configuration for 1080p. And 900p you can just max it out, it's okay. I'll now try to keep going, let's see what happens. What the video is about. That's what the video is about. What do you mean? I don't get it. I already told you, depends person to person. 720p bad. Well, yeah, what he said is true. It depends. I can tolerate it, but some people just cannot even see it. Some people just cannot stand 720p. Okay, part of the plane. Hopefully this has some of the gear that we need. Senpai, notice me. Yes, Raja, I notice you. You're noticed. You're officially noticed. Oh, how convenient. Really? Again? Okay. Thanks, buddy. Is 1440p good? Yes, of course. If you don't have a good internet connection, for a stream, it's pretty good. Okay, I can finally cut stuff. Finally.
Good, but it's dull. We need to find something to
Really?
sharpen it.
Something to sharpen the knife. Maybe
I
here.
didn't know the storm would hit so hard.
The
This
scales.
is all my fault.
Yeah, whatever.
I should have listened to Jonah, thought it through.
Okay, what can I do with
Taken
this?
the feedback. I hope no one else was hurt.
Yeah, whatever.
No
Let's
one
use
the
that.
village destroyed. I need to stop these cataclysms before it's too
Okay,
late.
that's better. Please test i7. The i7 is doing the stream right now, so it's not a good idea. Also important, graphics or resolution. That's up to you.
Exactly what I was looking for. Just need a bit more.
If you like higher graphics, lower the resolution. If you like higher resolution, just lower the graphics. That's the science behind it, at least in my opinion. It depends. I mean, on games like this, I'd rather lower the resolution and have higher settings if it makes a big difference. In this case, from medium to high settings, I didn't notice a huge visual difference. So just select a higher resolution in this case due to the amount of foliage. That's usually better for draw distances and all that. But if it's a competitive game, I usually lower the settings and use a higher resolution. Like on PUBG, for example. PUBG I try to use 1080p or 1440p on a mix between low and very low, so I can get a good frame rate and good visibility into the distance. It's much easier to spot enemies on a higher resolution. In this case, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, because it's a single player game. So yeah, it's all up to you. Are you excited for The Walking Dead Season 4? Yeah, I mean, the problem is that I don't like to wait for all the episodes, so I wait for the end of for just the very end of the episodes. When the last one releases, I start playing them. So yeah, I just don't like waiting for it. I played the first chapter and I want to just keep playing, but I can't. That's what I hate about episodic stuff. I want to play everything right away. Oh, there's the other rope. ¿Qué me dices de la RX 470? Debería ir mucho mejor que lo que ves acá. Debería. ¿Qué onda? ¿Todo bien? Very low settings. I might try that on 1080p. Just give me a second. I'm trying to progress a little bit. Okay, good. But I can already say this game looks significantly better than Rise of the Tomb Raider. But those random stutters are very annoying. Not sure what's up with that. Somebody help. I have an i5 8600K, 1066 GB, 8 GB of RAM. What do you need? What do you need? I mean, that's a great PC. If you're running to stutter, just make sure that the RAM is on dual channel. Okay guys, I'll quickly swap to 1080p very low settings to the lowest. Let's see what happens with that. Let me put here 1080p lowest. Let's see what happens with that. So we put this on lowest, textures again on high like they were, and then isotropic filtering will be on 16 times. That should be good enough. And then here we'll put 1080p as usual. Good stuff. And I need to fix this. 1 second guys. Here the frame rate. Sorry about that. So 1080p. Let's put this on off. No anti-aliasing at all. And this is the lowest settings with high textures and anisotropic filtering 16 times. And as you can see, the game looks significantly worse. There are no shadows, which that destroys the visuals of the game. A lot of pop-in. But the game runs much smoother, as you can see. So yeah, just a quick showing of how we can do with the settings. You can go this low. This is good if you have a very low-end PC. This means that the game can run on more systems. So yeah, this looks awful compared to the medium settings. Let me crank it up a bit. Let me see if I can make it look better, at least a little bit better. Just by putting shadows on low, I mean, look at this difference. By putting shadows on low is already a huge difference. Plus low shadows. I mean, look at this. Just by putting shadows on low, the game looks significantly better. And the frame rate is still very nice. I mean, yeah. This is impressive. Just by turning on shadows. Let me put some TAA in the mix, so we get less aliasing. But yeah, I mean, once you put TAA into the mix, it's not worth using low settings. I mean, you're below 50 frames per second. For that, you just use medium, and that was good enough. But if you want smoother frame rates, you don't care about the settings and want 1080p. Lower settings, high textures, 16 times anisotropic filtering plus low shadows should be way smoother. TAA disabled as well. That seems to be the 60 FPS option for 1080p. Let me put some ambient occlusion that fulfilled on normal. Tessellation, bloom, blah 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 blah. Whatever. Pure hair, volumetric lighting. Shadows on high. Let's put shadows on ultra. This on ultra. Level of detail on ultra. That's really ridiculous. And what else? This on high. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Okay, let's call this ultra settings with BTAO. Okay, so this is 1080p ultra plus BTAO. Why does 30 FPS look better on console than on PC? Please answer. That's due to the frame time. The consoles usually can get a consistent frame time, what you can see here. So as long as the frame time is stable, you'll be fine. I mean, on PC I don't have much of a problem. I just go into the Riva-Turner statistics server. Sorry, I messed that up. And once I do that, I got the game at 30 and it looks fine. It's not perfect by any means. You can see some screens there, but it's much better than just running unlocked frame rates. It feels much more consistent. So yeah. Well, the game looks very good. So if you want a 30 FPS experience, Ultra with BTAO seems to be good enough. At least as of right now. I'll keep playing a little bit more. Let's see if we can make it drop below 30 or into the mid-20s. That will be interesting. But yeah, this right here seems to be best graphics possible, staying over 30 at least right now. You get good draw distances, good shadows.
Like this.
Now it drops below 30 a little bit. Oh yeah, it's probably going to drop below 30. I'll have to lower shadows and all that. But as of right now, let's keep it like this. And let's see what happens. Okay, 29. Let me skip the cinematic. Okay, this is what I was looking for. This is much more complex. You also have some volumetric lighting going on compared to the previous area. Sorry, my Spanish kicked in. Whoa, I hate those random stutters. They are very distracting. This is starting to annoy me. But yeah, overall it seems to be fine. Man, the game looks so good. The video is not making justice. Doesn't make it justice, yeah. The compression will destroy this footage, I'm sure. Is this RTX turned on? Unfortunately, RTX is not an option just yet. That will be added later into the game. Random stutter, thank you. ¿Se ve igual que el anterior? No, se ve muchísimo mejor, pero por lejos. Okay. Okay, here. Thank the CPU for that. Thanks for loading the assets. i3. Oh yeah, those random stutters are a pain in the A. Defeat the AMD CPUs. Defeat the FX CPUs. Crafting silent arrows. That's a joke, right? Almost. Almost there. Okay, this as 30 is quite difficult. Not impossible, of course. Whoa. Which ones? Which arrows? I think I left it up. Oh, never mind. Don't watch, kids. Don't watch. Seems playable with i7 and 1050 Ti, don't you think? Yes, of course. Without a doubt. Settings, you can see them at the right of the camera. Ultra settings with BTAO shadows. What am I saying? BTAO, I mean occlusion, plus TAA. Why is it stuttering? Sometimes when it's loading new assets randomly, it seems that the CPU maxes out. And once the CPU maxes out very quickly, it seems to drop the GPU usage and thus causes a stutter. It's kind of random, but it's very annoying. Right now it's very distracting. But I'm not sure what's up with that. So maybe once the game releases in 2 days, we get a patch or something. Still, it's not unplayable, don't get me wrong. But it is distracting, that's what I'm trying to say. Let me see, this way. Very obvious, thank you. Horror, killed a sweet kitten. Yeah, I'm a monster. I'm a monstrosity. Yes, can run Cyberpunk. We'll see once it releases. It will be fun to test that one. Jonah! Jonah! Mr. Jonah! Alright. And as you can see, as I was saying at the start of the stream, the RAM usage is around 7 gigabytes. So yeah, 7 gigabytes. So with 8 gigs of RAM on dual channel, you should be completely fine. The RAM usage is around this number right here. Fingers of a bear. What? Ignore the stutters, his gameplay is smooth, 35 to 40. At least right now I could aim just fine like I usually do at 35 to 40. But it can be, if you're used to play at 60, it might not be comfortable. Be aware of that. Just cap it at 30 with Red Turner and you'll be fine. Let's try that. The game will crash if I go out. If I try to minimize the game, it will crash. So let me try something very quickly. Let me put it on windowed. Let me see if the game crashes. Hopefully not. Let's see if I effed it up. If I effed it up, it will be very funny. But yeah, it seems like I effed it up. I'm a genius. Alright. Yeah, I effed it up. The game is frozen now. Perfection. So let's cap it at 30 with Revatana. And let me put 0, then 30 again, just in case. As you can see, the download was 25.9 gigabytes, so it's not as big of a game as I expected. And RTSS 30 FPS lock. So let's take a look at the settings once again. As you can see, this is 1080p, DirectX 12, exclusive full screen, TAA to avoid those aliased areas, then textures on high, texture filtering on 16 times anisotropic, shadows on ultra, depth of field on high, level of detail on ultra, BTAO, pure hair maxed out, screen space, contact shadows on high, and all this stuff right here. Motion blur, in my opinion, is annoying in third-person games. If it's per object motion blur, it's fine, but I don't know, I just find it annoying, so I'll keep it like this. Let's launch the game once again, but with a 30 FPS lock. Let's see if we can get it much smoother. Yeah, the game will I'll probably stutter anyways, because, well, it seemed to be a CPU related thing, but we'll see. The problem now is that we'll be getting some screen tear that is very noticeable, so we'll see what happens. The problem with VSync is that it introduces more latency, at least in my experience. It's much harder to aim, but other than that, it should be fine. Let's continue. What is better experience than PS4? I hope you're not saying 1030. Usually the 1050 Ti should be a better experience due to the graphics and all that. Of course, it depends on the game. Some games run worse on PC, like Doom. Doom for some reason can't hold 60s on the 1050 Ti on 1080p. It's very hard, at least in some areas. Of course, it's not the whole game. I would say that 1050 Ti is a good option. Okay, so now we are again into the game with a 30 FPS cap. I can really feel a much smoother game, but as you can see in the top corner of the screen, we are getting a lot of screen tear. So you have to find a way of not getting screen tear. I'm not going to use VSync. VSync is very, how to say this, due to the input latency that I get with VSync, I don't like using it. I can play through the screen tear just fine, I don't care. But a lot of people don't like screen tearing, and it makes a lot of sense. Oh yeah, the game feels significantly smoother at 30 frames per second now. And this is how I make games feel smooth at 30. Oh yeah, it's significantly better now. I'll probably play it like this, on this card. We'll see what happens next. Metro Exodus and Cyberpunk. If it runs on PS4 and base Xbox One, we'll probably run it here just fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Oh, never mind. But yeah, Metro should be just fine. Hopefully they improve their engine for the performance and all that. But again, if it runs on the basic consoles, on the basic PS4 and basic Xbox One, I wouldn't worry at all. I will be worried once we get new consoles. When new consoles arrive, games usually get significantly more demanding. Other than that, I wouldn't worry at all. I even forgot what I climbed up to. Sorry about that. Let's keep going. That was very stupid. Okay. Let's keep going. A crypt? No thanks. I'm okay. Says that I have to go over there. Nothing here. Good moment to be lost. Because if I go over here, I'll fail. Oh, no. Let's try somewhere else then. Yeah, I think it was easier than I first anticipated. Like all the puzzles in this game. Where are you from? I'm from Uruguay. It's a country in South America between Argentina and Brazil. But yeah, it was easier than I expected. Here is where I had to go. I mean, look at this, it looks amazing. Probably due to the compression you cannot see what I see, but yeah, it's a very good looking game. Let's keep it going. I'm not surprised at this performance GPU. Well, the game looks very good, so it makes sense.
I think we can see the village through the vines over there.
It's such a relief to have Jonah back.
It's the skills, damn skills.
At least Jonah didn't ask what happened. The Jaguars.
Visual assistance when aiming at an enemy's head. No thanks, I don't need that. Reach full draw weight more quickly. Sure. Oh. I'll wait to unlock that then. Let's save the points and keep going. Come on, Jonah, Jonah.
We can get through here. Give me a hand.
Is thus stuttering after logging the FPS? It's not, actually, it's much better now. There are some stutters, but there are not as many as before. And the game is almost perfectly at 33.3 milliseconds. The problem here is the screen tear. The screen tear is very noticeable.
You see that?
It must be quite
If you don't care about the screen tear like me, that I don't really care, I play without VSync. You prefer low latency,
Sure this is the path.
just do this.
close to me.
This is
30
definitely
FPS lock not possible with SMAA X2, no, SMAA X2, X4. Those use MSAA, and the GPU is almost maxed out, so
Almost there.
I wouldn't try that, honestly. We're already getting better graphic settings at the Xbox One X.
Oh, gotcha.
The Xbox One X has a higher resolution,
I'm okay.
but it uses normal settings. We're using the highest with BTAO, which is the console ambient occlusion.
You're right.
So I think this is a win, to be honest. The graphics look very good, and we have very good draw distances as well. I don't see any pop-in using the ultra draw distance.
Could have been the Inca.
We'll see if it holds up. I'm trying to see if I can maintain this performance. That will be pretty nice. Other than that,
Look at the structures here. The bridge is
it
there.
seems to be okay.
Maybe we can lift it with those counterweights.
Maybe.
Forza Horizon 3 was great. I'm not tested yet. Forza Horizon 4, I download it now. What do you mean? Yeah, Forza Horizon 3 is great. I'll test the fourth one once it releases, of course.
Okay. Let's let it go. Slowly.
And how do I do that slowly? Okay, do it on your own. What's he doing? Please don't pirate this game, guys. Agreed. If you like the game, buy it. Is there any way to lose the screen tearing, and at what cost? You can use VSync, but you'll feel more latency to the controls. Or you can use adaptive VSync on the NVIDIA control panel.
Hey,
On the NVIDIA control panel it should be...
I think the water powers the bridge somehow.
Oh, I see. As I was saying, on the NVIDIA control panel you can use adaptive VSync if you don't mind some latency. Or you can use fast sync, but that one seems a little stuttery, at least in my experience. Not sure how it works exactly,
Water's filling the bucket.
Good. Let's see what those counterweights do.
but yeah. Okay. Thank you, puzzles.
Need to. The bucket's leaking.
Come on back. Try again.
I'm not sure what I can do with this thing. Give me 1 second, guys. I have to use my brain. I know that's very difficult, but I need to see what's going on with this. Can I just hop in?
I'm going to have to let it go.
I cannot even see.
Hurry. I can't hold this much longer.
No, I can't. Oh yes, okay, I just got what I have to do. I feel very stupid now. But that's a thing of every day. So yeah. Adaptive sync turns off under 60 frames per second and you get screen tearing. Thanks for that. then use the normal VSync if you don't care about latency. It doesn't allow me to jump. No, that was a bad idea. Okay, that was cool. Can you try VSync on stream so I can get the idea? You won't see the idea because I'm... Let me see, wait. You won't get the idea because you're not going to control the game. It makes no sense at all. Oh, you can use half refresh rate VSync. So instead of capping the frame rate at 30, you can use this, half refresh rate. And I'll cap at 30. Let me see if this has any latency. Yeah. The game feels significantly less smooth. Yeah, I cannot... Yeah, I can feel that the controls are less responsive. The controls are heavier. It feels like the game is not as responsive as before. So yeah, let's disable that. That was not good. Let me try that again. Yeah, much better. Yeah, significantly better now.
I think I'll stick to the bottles you found in the cargo from the plane.
So yeah. Okay, this should be the way to go.
You know, if I had known how much time I'd spend in the wilderness, I'd have paid more attention in board.
Okay. You hate VSync, don't you? Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't I hate VSync? I mean, are you kidding me? Who likes to play with controls that have latency? It makes no sense. Who does like latency in controls? It makes no sense at all. Maybe using a controller you can notice it less. But really,
The bucket's leaking.
I just don't think it's worth it. Sorry. It's, of course, it's a personal opinion, but let me see if I can climb this. I don't even know what I'm doing.
Need to get the water flowing to the bucket.
Yeah, I know, Lara. I know. Okay, there's something here. Okay, what the hell? Alright, I think that's enough for the stream.
Need to get the water flowing to the bucket.
Yeah, I know. I made my point. I need to start making the videos testing the 750 Ti, the 1060 and the 1050 Ti, so I can explain how the game performs and all that. But yeah. So yeah, I have nothing more to test at the moment. I'll do first the 1050 Ti video, then I'll do the 750 Ti video. Tomorrow or today I'll be getting the 1060 done. But yeah, this is a great looking game, very demanding on the GPU. It has some spikes on the frame time with unlocked frame rates with this CPU. So yeah, I was expecting significantly worse performance, to be honest. This is impressive, in my opinion. I mean, look at all the foliage. El tearing es horrible. Bueno, a mí no me jode, es un tema personal. Cada uno elige lo que quiere. What do you do to earn a living? I don't. I just live with my parents. With that, everything is possible. Yeah, this setting is stable. I'll use this one if you want quality over performance. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this stream. I'll be doing the 1050 Ti video testing G4560 plus 1050 Ti and i3-8100. Maybe the i5, we'll see what happens. Then I'll be doing the 750 Ti with the G4560 and i3-8100. After that, if I have enough time today, I'll be doing also the 1063 gigabytes with the i5 and the i3. We'll see what happens. And on Thursday, if I did all these 3 videos I told you about, I'll be testing the GTX 1050 2 gigabytes. And that'll be pretty much it. I'll be showing you 2 configurations per resolution, which means that I'll try to get 60s on one and 30s on the other one. So you have 2 configurations for each of them. Thank you guys so much for watching this stream. I never had a stream with over 200 people concurrently. This is amazing. Thank you guys so much. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you later today. To lock the frame rate, use RTSS. I'll send you a link to how to lock the frame rate. How to lock FPS. This is how to log FPS. Anyways, thank you once again, and see you next time. See you next time.